How's it going, YouTubers? So, got a couple projects I want to work on Benny for today. The first one is, I think this is silly, but it was only 20 bucks for these liner hose clamps. So I'm going to replace the hose clamps on the intercooler and the blow-off valve or the bypass valve, whichever you prefer to call it. I got this panel as a spare because I drilled a switch into this area right here, and I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. Anyhow, also combination switch. So this has foglight integration on it, and from everything I can find, all I got to do is install this in a relay, and the front fog lights will work with this switch. I don't have any fog lights on it right now, but I want to put this switch in just for the heck of it, right? It was only 25 bucks shipped on eBay, so. And the wiring diagrams for both the WRX, the 2015 WRX and 2015 Forester XT, and they both look like almost identical. So let's see here. So yeah, I don't like the way that this switch right here turned out, so I'm gonna figure out something else to do. And then you see that the headlight stock on this doesn't have the fog lights on it, so I'm going to start working on tearing that apart and getting that set up. I know there's a relay that goes behind the glove box on the other side, and I have a bin from my, yeah, there it is, from my 05 STI that's got a whole bunch of relays in it, so I'm sure I'll find something there. Anyhow, I'll be back here in a bit, show you what I find. So yeah, I got the top mount off. Anyhow, I can understand why people do this. It's because you see this little rubber flap. So when I took it off, and I don't know if it's from the factory or whatnot, but most of this is under the hose clamp for some reason. Like, I don't know why they do that, but I don't think it's supposed to go underneath there. I think the hose clamp is supposed to sit like this. So I can understand why people do this mod. Plus the liner clamps are better at not ripping that rubber gasket. So anyhow, I'll keep moving forward here. I'll show you guys the finished product here in a minute. Okay, top section's done. Took me about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. Not too bad, but I got them on there. And yes, these hose clamps will take a lot more force than a standard hose clamp, so maybe it is a worthwhile mod. I noticed that when I'm screwing it together that it's really a lot stronger, I guess you could say, than most other hose clamps. So I'll put the engine cover back on, and then the other two I got to do are underneath the skid plate on the front. Okay, here's a tip for you guys. So the OEM location on the bypass valve is really hard to get to. So what I did is I took the cold air inlet off, and I used this bad boy. It's just two 12-inch extensions together to get down to it. I'll get underneath here and show you what I'm talking about. You see it? Let's see, you can see the hose clamp like right there. See it right there? Anyhow, the orientation of the clamp is reversed, so it actually points up so you can get to it by the radiator fans. But I changed it around so that we can get to it from underneath. So there it is. And the extra clamp that comes with it is actually for the OEM intake. But the HPS kit, as you can see, already comes with liner clamps, breeze clamps. So I don't need to do that one. So that one's done. I guess it's on to the fog light switch. So yeah, I was able to find little relays off of my 05 STI. I've got a whole bunch of these on the old wiring harness setup, but anyhow, in the instructions here, it says that you got to take the glove box out and everything. I was able to take there's a little plastic cover underneath here. It's got 3 snap clips in. You just pull on it, and then right there, you can see it if you look up under the dash, is the spot where you snap this little relay in for the fog light switches. So now it's onto the steering wheel. So these newer steering wheels are pretty easy to take apart. I read a couple of things on the internet about these being a nightmare. Well, I found it pretty easy. You see these little springs here? So there's a hole underneath the steering wheel here where you just push on these springs and it releases the airbag. There's 3 of them. You can shine a flashlight up there. Just look for the little spring like that and push on it with a screwdriver, and the airbag will pop out one side at a time. It was pretty simple. The next thing you notice is just disconnect these and be real careful with this clock spring here. I'm going to take the steering wheel off next. So I was able to get the clock spring assembly out. There's 3 little clips here that you just pull up on very gently. There's 1, 2, and 3. I'm just going to let it hang by the wiring harness right here because there's an SRS clip on there that I don't want to deal with. Now I got to figure out how to get these steering column switches off of here. That's the next step. So okay, I got the combination switch off. On the back here, well, around this whole thing actually, is a spring clamp that you have to squeeze and then pull up on this tab right here with like a screwdriver, and then pull forward and it just slides out. So doing a little comparison here, you can see that the connectors are the same, but the one without the headlight or the fog light switch is missing like 5 pins. But I believe the wiring harness is already pre-wired. That's my guess. We'll see if that's 100% true, but that's my guess. Okay. I can't stop laughing at how easy this was, but anyhow, so I got the steering wheel switch in, and so let me turn the headlights on and watch this. Look at that. Fog light switch works, the dash indicates it and everything, so it is pre-wired. So if you have a 2015 Forester XT Premium, all you need to do is go on eBay, and there's a whole bunch of these on eBay. This one was 25 bucks shipped. And you need that little relay that goes in under the dash, and you're pre-wired for fog lights with the switch assembly right here. And you don't have to put it in here. I mean, I think that looks really ugly, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing this mod. And then you can probably just buy some of the fog lights off of eBay. I know they make a bunch of different kinds of them, and they're like 80 bucks. So anyhow, this is a pretty cool mod. You got to have the headlights on for the fog lights to work, but yeah, I'm stoked that that worked out. Alright guys, that's it for me this time. I'll catch you next time. See you later. Bye bye.